As you may already know by now, I am planning to make Warlord Blackhand's hammer, the Black Hand, from the game World of Warcraft Warlords of Draenor. It is going to be made of paper mache using materials such as cardboard box, cardboard tube, one-sided cardboard, and newspaper. I will be making it over the next little while, whether it be a matter of days, weeks, or months. I do not know. All I know is that art shouldn't be rushed, so I'll take as much time as I need to make this. In World of Warcraft, I've always liked the theme of black metal and lava, ever since I ran Blackrock Depths, which, by the way, is my all-time favorite dungeon in WoW. So when they released the option to transmog your gear into Blackrock Plate, I was all for it. I got all the pieces right away, and now use it for my Blood Death Knight. Then I found out that Blackhand has a chance to drop his own hammer when you defeat him in the Blackrock Foundry raid. Now here's the thing. He only drops it in normal mode or higher. In other words, not Raid Finder, which is unfortunate for me because I'm a very casual raider. I only run Raid Finder. I'm not wanting to get that serious in raiding. I just want to run a successful raid when I'm in the mood to, and Raid Finder is what I prefer. But I still want that hammer. Whether I come back to it a couple of expansions from now so I can solo it, or if I do decide to join a normal group. Either way, I want that hammer. I want that hammer so much that is where the idea to make it came to mind. I was considering different materials to make it out of. Metal is a more realistic material to use, but for me is out of the question. I don't have access to a metal workshop or sheets of metal, and also metal can be expensive. Definitely not going to make it out of metal. Wood was the next thing that came to mind. I've made replica guns of wood before, which was easy because my father has a big workshop in our basement. But this is a much more complicated piece, and there would only be so much that I could do with the wooden tools I have access to, because this is a personal, no-budget project. I don't want to spend a lot of money on it. It's better if I work with what I already have and spending as little money as possible. That's when I decided to make it out of something that I actually haven't used in 12 years, paper mache. It works because the piece would remain light, and I would already have access to any material that I would need. We usually keep our cardboard tubes that are left when wrapping paper is used up, and we always have cardboard from packages, and of course, our daily newspaper. The only other thing that I would need is a jug of glue and paints, but I'll worry about that when I get to that stage. Whenever I execute a project, the very first thing that I need is a proposal, then a plan. This video will act as my proposal, and every video after will act as my journal. Each video will show the progress that I've made since the previous entry. This will be a great way to look back and see how far I've come since the beginning, learn from mistakes, as well as sharing to my viewers this process on how this is made, and probably if you want to make your own piece. First, I'll need a picture of the hammer printed out to use as a diagram or blueprint. Then figure out a scale ratio of my diagram size to actual size. After that, I can use that scale ratio to determine the size of everything on the hammer. This will determine how much of each material I'll need to make the basic shape. I will then make the basic shape, and add on additional details to the piece, such as spikes, cuffs, and chain. This is where the newspaper can be used to gut the hammer. Once the skeletal structure is complete, the paper mache process will begin. This is where I need to be patient, as each layer would need to dry overnight, and a good skin would have about 3 layers of paper mache. Finally, painting and finishing touches. One thing that I need to make sure that I clear up is that this is a casual project that I have decided to do on my own desire in my own free time. This is not for any classes in school. This is not for something I was hired to do. It's all me and me alone. That said, time does not matter. I'm in no hurry to finish whatsoever, so I can take as much time as I am comfortable. I have yet to decide how often I will release a video journal. I have yet to decide how much hours at a time I'll be working, but I will state how many hours I have worked on which specific day of the year so that you get an idea of when exactly I am working on this project and for how many hours. To summarize, a lot of info is not set in stone yet, and you may have many questions which you may ask in the comments below, but hopefully you'll get a better understanding as to how everything is going to work as we go along. I hope you enjoyed this process, this journey, as I make the Black Hand of Warlord Blackhand.